let's get into it. Matt Schneidman tweeted out, first offensive line today with no Elton Jenkins or Aaron Banks. So from left to right, we got Rasheed Walker, Jordan Morgan, Sean Ryan. This surprised me. Jacob Monk at right guard, and then Zach Tom. That I kind of like that they're trying Jacob Monk a little more often at different positions other than just backup center. Who knows, man? You may look up and he'd be a better guard than a center. That could be the case. But Sean Ryan, man, starting to gain a little bit of respect, a little bit more respect for him. If you guys didn't read the tweets and the coverage from Rob Domofsky on how he missed out on that $2 million bonus last year, I think it was $2 million on the escalator bonus. He missed it by just a handful of snaps. And he's just putting his head down and working, man. And the fact that, Jordan Morgan couldn't run away with the right guard spot last year because Sean Ryan was playing, just as good as Jordan Morgan when he was healthy. And now he's pretty much become our backup center, it sounds like. I don't know how you feel about that, Emilio, but if Sean Ryan proves to be a serviceable center, boy, oh boy, the value there is unbelievable.
Yeah, because he can play all three positions in the middle there. So I think that his ability to be versatile is what got him to this point. Him being willing to try anything for the team has got him there. Obviously, we've covered before, didn't start off great for him for his career, but he's turned it around. He's put his head down and he got to work. When Matt said he was a little thick, right? Clean that up, and just everything he's done to get to this point is huge. So yeah, let's give him first team reps as center without Elton there, and let's make sure that in a pinch he can go in. How many times did we need to pull a backup center this past year into the game? So I think that it's very important, and I'm glad that they are also now kind of maybe giving that Sean Ryan opportunity to Monk, and let's move him around too and see what else he can do.
Go ahead, Jacob. Your take on the offensive line here, man.
Yeah, I believe I saw that it was Coach. He said that Ryan missed it by 2 holding calls, and he also had a comment talking about how there was no Belton on this lineup, which is a little interesting to him. I'm just happy that I see Jordan Morgan cracking into this thing, and it is nice to see Jacob Monk getting played at different positions. Like Amelia just said, we kind of hit that panic button around the second half of that Eagles game where we just fell apart in the trenches. And I think that this year they saw that, they understood what the problem was, and they're going to find a stopgap to really make sure that doesn't happen again. And we're trying everything and anything in the beginning of the camp, and that's the time to do it,
Yeah. Now's the time to do this, Jacob. That's for darn sure, man. Morgan taking reps at left tackle now with Glover at right guard. So you like to see Morgan taking some snaps at left tackle.
Here's the guy.
Isn't it funny that I think we would all agree that the team seems to be leaning toward just letting Rasheed Walker walk in free agency, no pun intended. But at the same time, who's the guy that's always available? Who's the guy that you never hear about, right? It's did you just say Glover? It's always Walker. Walker is always available. He's always healthy. He's just kind of steady Eddie. And I'm sitting over here going, man, if I'm him, I am playing mad this year, And I understand you can't pay everybody. Like I've talked about the blueprint, the precedent that's been set by this front office, even that really predates Goody, I don't know how you guys feel about that, but it just kind of sticks out to me when I see this. It's like, like you said, Belton was nowhere to be found, right? You got Aaron Banks with a back injury. Elton Jenkins got a back injury. Rasheed Walker just over there doing his damn job all the time. You know what I mean, Emilio?
Yeah, absolutely. He's playing to get paid this year, right? It doesn't matter who he's getting paid by. If it's not the Packers, whatever. But if he plays, top 15 left tackle, top 20, whatever, he'll get paid handsomely. And then the Packers would be happy with that because they get a comp pick out of it. So it's kind of a win-win. So he's not playing. It's not hurting him being out there to play. But I do think he's, like you said, going to kind of play mad. Let's get this money for me, myself. I mean, I'll do this for the team, obviously, but I also got to look out for myself.
Yeah, Jake, if you get anything here, Jordan Morgan taking reps at left tackle, you'll never know if he can be a franchise left tackle, which is the position he played in college, unless you get him out there and get him reps, right?
Yeah, that's true. And I believe that Morgan played almost predominantly left tackle basically his whole career. So if there was to be a guy, you guys know, I actually really love Rasheed Walker. I think I've made that pretty clear. I really don't quite understand the glaring need. It seems like that they want to replace him. If it was me at in the front office, and thank God it's not. But if it was me, I would have been very content with Walker, and I probably would have thrown a lot of draft capital in other places. But that's me. And again, I obviously it's because I think he's very, very passable and very serviceable as a passing tackle. I think that there's something about this team that makes it clear that they want to get bigger, bulkier, and be more of a road grading type run. Or I said multifaceted type offensive line, and maybe they just don't see that in Walker's repertoire. So
yeah,
I kind of understand what they're doing.
As Ron Sample says here too, save $20 million on Jenkins and Walker is cheaper. Not saying to do it, but it's an option. We kind of talked about it last night, right, Ron? I could see that playing out. Emilio, I know you've been out of town, and get your take on this. What if the plan is let Rasheed Walker play this year out, right? And as you get a little deeper into the season, maybe you do want to extend him if you feel like, okay, this dude is just too valuable for us to let him go, and you don't give Elton Jenkins any more guaranteed money. You just cut Elton Jenkins loose next year, free up $20 million in cap space, and maybe you can get Rasheed Walker for 10 to 12, maybe $13 million per. That would make a lot of sense too, right?
Yeah, I think that's possible. The other thought I was kind of thinking here was kind of what Bundy was saying. Look at the deal we just got with Tom. I'd be interested to see what Walker expects to get paid. Maybe to kind of tie all that together, they paid Zach Tom this. Walker stays here to get paid what compared to what Zach Tom just got paid, who's been here, been steady Eddie.
Right.
Walker hasn't been completely that. Let's see where it gets to. I think that's a complete possibility. We're able to kind of move some money around. It sucks for Elton, right? If they're not going to get that done, but it's kind of the business we have. If we have a lot of young talent, you would think that Goody in the squad would lean on the young talent, pay him, get a couple years under him and keep moving forward instead of chasing the older talent.
Yeah, Joseph in the chat says Walker needs to clean up the pre-snap penalties and get more physical in the run. I agree with that. Coach Lynn says left tackle has to be able to pass block first and foremost, in my opinion. Completely agree, Coach. That's the top priority. Any position across the offensive line, history dictates that the Packers have always prioritized pass blocking over run blocking. However, we have to mention the only thing keeping Rasheed Walker from being a top 5 left tackle in the game is his run blocking. Pass blocking is just as good as anybody, to be honest with you. So, all right, let's move it along here. Next thing here, we've seen a little bit of a Tay Wicks sighting. And listen, this is just, I know routes on air and everything, but it sounds like he had a decent practice too. But shout out to Matt Schneidman for putting this tweet out here. You see our boy Dontavion Wicks working. I think Jason Wilde said that he had a good conversation with Wicks. And you guys go follow Jason, and I'm sure he'll write an article on Channel 3000. Make sure you give that a click and a view and show him some love over there. But I think he said when talking to Dontavion Wicks, Jacob, that he said he got kind of caught up in reading the press clippings last year. Not like, hey, I've arrived, but he said he found himself counting snaps and all those things that players go through. Like when you're looking at practice reps, you're looking at game day reps, kind of like what Romeo Doubs went through last year, And we know Matt LaFleur loves wide receiver by committee, but I don't know, man. I'm still holding out hope that Dontavion Wicks is going to return back to his rookie form. What do you think, Jacob? How you feel about Wicks here going into the season?
Yeah, I mean, we know that going into this season that obviously the front office didn't care if we had a bunch of quote unquote playmakers. They wanted to throw 2 more guys in the mix and just say, you guys go and compete. And, I actually watched an interview with Matthew Golden and with Jordan Reed and how they, not Jordan Reed, Jane Reed, how they just kind of have embraced that and realized that, hey, we weren't good last year. We weren't perfect by any means. We had a lot of things to clean up. He talked about how the whole wide receiver room as a whole kind of took that, not personally, but understood the assignment and have kind of, manned up in a sort of terms and just decided that we're not going to sit here and sulk about it. And it is good to hear him talk about that because it makes sense that he maybe would have been something in his head. We could see that there was a drastic, decline from what we've seen from Dontavion Wicks in prior year, just what we've seen from the way that he can have a ceiling. I really do think that when he's firing on all cylinders, he can be a really, really good offensive weapon in this league in multiple facets. The way he runs his routes, you see that how clean that is, how effortless it is. I mean, there was talks, early in his career how he was having route running ability like Devontae Adams, you know what I mean? And that's very high praise for a guy to just get out of college, especially a guy, if you guys remember, that didn't necessarily want to be a football player. He was more into basketball, if I'm not mistaken, and then kind of made the late turn in his career that he realized that the way he's going to go pro is in football. So it's a little bit of a slump maybe coming into that this last year, but I think that he is more dedicated to come around and turn that around. And I'm excited because this year, I mean, we have so many weapons, man. Which one are you going to stop?
Right. This dime piece here from Jordan Love, too, man. That's a short drop. He just lets that thing rip, too.
I'm glad you said that, Clay, because I've just been sitting here staring at it. That's a 20-yard out route starting. Wicks is starting inside the numbers, running a 20-yard out. Jordan lets it go basically at the top of his stem, and it's a dot right at 20 and a half yards, drops it right there on the sideline.
A beautiful throw, man. Beautiful
what a ball. What an absolute ball. Then Emmanuel Wilson there with a little dot right there in the running back training there at the beginning of the shot.
Yeah. Look in the background, too. I think that's Matthew Golden way back here in the background. Watch a leaping grab right there. Look like him. He looks so twitchy. I'm excited about Golden. The closer we get to the first time seeing him on the field against, I'm looking forward to the joint practices. That's what I really want to see Matthew Golden stack up against other opponents there. Coach Lynn says Wicks needs to keep stacking practices. Good start to camp. 2-0 for this says people who've been writing off Wicks are going to learn to. I love it. Love that energy. Derek K pointed out Devontae Adams took 3 years. I mean, I remember like it was yesterday. There were fans after year 2 screaming, cut Devontae Adams. You're talking about a Hall of Fame wide receiver now. So you got to be careful with that stuff. Clint, armchair quarterback, said that Love has time to throw with all these receivers. Watch out. Coach Flynn, the hype for Wicks last summer was real. No hours to be what's that saying? No what?
Hours gets to be a sleeper.
Yeah, I think I'm too drunk to taste that chicken. I'm sure I'm just misunderstanding what he's trying to say there. But yeah, I think Wicks is going to be a solid player, man. I do. I think I'm holding out hope to this year that he's going to be a lot better shape than he was last year in terms of the drops. Now, Wes Hokowitz tweeted this out. Matthew Golden end around, check. Malik Willis read option keeper, check. Golden catch off motion, check. So they're starting to use Matthew Golden in the motion sets, right? And you guys know when we did Chalk Talk and broke that down, Matthew Golden's tape from Texas, a lot of moving Z, a lot of end around stuff there. I mean, they used him basically the same way that we use Jaden Reed, and people say, okay, he's a slot. Nope. You're not. If you think that Jaden Reed is just a slot receiver, you're not paying attention. Like it's a moving Z. Greg Cosell talks about it a lot. These guys have got to be able to play outside. They got to play inside. They got to understand all the choice routes, no matter if they're lined up on the right, on the left. You got to be ready to take a touch pass, and end around. Oh, by the way, the zipper boomerang motion, everything. It looks like they're really starting to dabble with Matthew Golden and getting him pretty deep into the playbook, Emilio.
Yeah, Matt was talking about that, right? The more people, he said, obviously you wish everybody can do it, but they were asking, specifically if we're going to get Matt Golden more involved in that. Yeah, obviously, if we can do that, if he can do that, that's going to keep the team guessing, the defense guessing a lot more, being able to move him around, do the same thing with Jaden Reed, rotate them in and out. You don't know who's going to get the ball. Imagine 2 separate motions. Reed does an orbit, resets, then you get Matthew Golden on a jet across or something like that. You can really get it, crazy. Matt must have been playing a little college football, Clayton, because I'm telling you, it's like, you remember that whip route that Devontae had on the goal line where he kind of comes in motion, gets a quick set and back. It's just getting your feet moving before the play starts. How is that not a benefit to, one of your top receivers or anybody with that kind of speed and twitch?
Yeah, you would cheat. He would cheat from slot right, back to the 2 left. So as he's going across, you're getting them kind of their momentum going outside, and then he cuts inside, and now they got to redirect, and now he's redirecting on the whip route. That's just
so nice. Yep.
Yeah, good luck. You have a better chance of pulling a butt cheek than getting that route coming for sure. All right, up next, this was our buddy Wes Hokowitz who tweeted this out as well. And, we showed you Wicks on the routes on air and all that. Well, Packers restacked the number 1 2-minute drill, and Love hits Wicks on a deep crosser for 49-yard touchdown. So you're seeing Wicks show up time and time again here on the updates. Like I said, really, really excited about what Tay Wicks is going to do. Now, the last one on the offensive side of the ball, it's really special teams, but, hey, it's leading to points, so let's talk about it. Can we just take a brief second and show appreciation for the fact that we got Brandon McManus? He's now 15 of 15 during 2 open practices, 9 for 9 today. This was from Matt Schneidman. On his 34th birthday, he had makes from 33, 33, 38, 40, 41, 41, 43, 44, 46, 46, 46, 48, 51, 51, and 56. That sounds like the age grouping on Jacob's last 5 dates there. Yeah, I'm so excited that our boy Brandon McManus is a Green Bay Packer. And we get him, what, on a 3-year deal? Wasn't that what the extension was, a 3-year extension?
Yep.
I'm going to double check. What do you think about these makes here, man? Does this not make you just breathe easy when knowing that if a drive stalls, you're just about going to slam dunk, get 3 points?
Yeah, I think that we're missing out on a little bit of the kicker talk payments that we had last year, but I'm happy for it, honestly, Clay, because this is all we were waiting for last year, right? We wanted it to be Anders. It wasn't. We wanted it to be I honestly can't even remember everybody else we had. I feel like it was just a flurry of kickers that just didn't end up working out. Let's go get the kicker that, we know we need, kicked in big situations, and, look at this consistency. Basically just started walking them back, keep going, keep going, keep going. Let's see what you can do. Move them hash and hash. I love that on a 34th birthday, happy birthday. Let's get it this year. In the fact that he hit a walk-off in his first game, the dude does have ice in his veins. I mean, that's a key to being a kicker. You can't get shook.
Yeah. Clint, the armchair quarterback, gifting 10 Packers Total Access memberships. Thank you so much, Clint. Appreciate you. So 10 random people in the chat will be entered into the giveaway that we're going to be doing this week, and probably on Sunday night show. We're going to be giving away an autographed Dontavion Wicks rookie card. Really, really cool piece of memorabilia that was donated from our good friend Rick Kruger, a listener of the show. So if you want to enter yourself into that, either hit that join tab here on YouTube and join as a member here on the YouTube page, or what I recommend is go to Patreon, patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access, and $3 get you access to everything in the Patreon group and also get you entered into the giveaways. Also, Jacob I hate that I keep saying his internet has nothing to do with his internet. His internet's faster than mine. It's StreamYard that keeps glitching out. So he's heading up our fantasy league. So again, if you guys were in the fantasy league last year, the midnight Sunday is the cutoff. Make sure you go answer that email and get entered back into the fantasy football league. If not, we got a bunch of people lined up that wants to join from our Patreon group. Just another perk of being in the Patreon group. So again, that's patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. Clint, thank you for that donation and gifting those 10 memberships here on YouTube as well. So, all right, let's shift gears and move over to the defensive side of the ball. Unless you got anything else on offense, Emilio, anything else you want to hit on offense, bro?
No, just you guys have been talking a lot about Glover since I've been gone, so I'm just glad he's
filled up. Love it.